Hi, I'm Jason Camus. I'm here from the Gardner Edgerton Chamber of Commerce, and I'm here with Shirley Harley today. Shirley, thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
And as you might know, we're doing interviews of all of our city council candidates this year, and this is an opportunity for potential candidates in the primary season to tell the community a little bit about who you are, what issues you're passionate about, what things you want to see it happen in the city, or maybe not happen in the city. And similar to all the other candidates, I'm going to ask you some questions about just why you're doing this, and then maybe some issue-oriented things that are happening in Gardner or maybe could be happening, and then I'll let you wrap up. So thank you for being here. So let's go ahead and get started. So first, I guess, tell everybody out there and that might be watching this, why are you running for city council? Why now?
I took the class called Gardner U Academy, and I was so impressed and inspired with our city government. Each branch presented a presentation over several weeks' time, and we just have some outstanding city managers and our administrator, our police force, our utilities, economic development gentlemen. I just was really impressed, and I just want to get more involved. I'm, of course, a long-time resident here. I'm a native of Gardner, and you want me to tell my
Sure, give us a little background. Well, what's prepared you to be, I mean, obviously it's a lot of work and it's a big task. You have one particular staff person you deal with, the city administrator, but you have tons of staff and a big budget. What's prepared you to be in this role?
I was on the school board for 4 years, a number of years ago. I also was on the Board of Deacons at the First Presbyterian Church twice, and lifelong member of the church. I just feel like I could give back to the community. Our family has been here. The family farm has been out here since 1928.
Wow.
And my family always gave back to the community. My father gave the land so the Catholic Church could build their church. He also gave land which doubled the size of the cemetery. And my sister and I have donated land for the Gardner Community Garden out here behind the Catholic Church.
Okay.
And of course, we've all been lifelong members of the Presbyterian Church, and my parents helped with that building fund when we built our church. And you want me to keep going?
Oh, I mean, I'm sure it sounds like you could go for a long time, but so, it's interesting because obviously you've been here for so long and your family's been here for so long, and you've probably seen huge changes in Gardner over the years. I mean, from being a small community to being a really fast growing one in the 90s and early 2000s, maybe slowing down a little bit now. And obviously from the chamber's perspective, we are very, no bones about it. We're pro-growth. We want to grow. We think that's important. It's good. If the city's not growing, it's usually dying. So economic development is important to us. What are some of those things that you see opportunities for, and maybe the change and how it's led to opportunities, and what maybe those opportunities are for us in the future?
Yes, when I was in school, the population was about 600. Now it's 22,000, and I see Gardner could be the absolute shining star of Southwest Johnson County with the proper leadership. And I feel like, of course, I taught school for 18 years, graduated from KU.
Okay.
Of course, went all 12 years to Gardner.
Yeah.
And so I have lots of experience in education, and of course I worked with the board, on the school board. I know how to interact with the board. you give and take. There were a few times when I was the Lone Ranger. I held out for the old high school to remain here. I thought it'd make a great community center, which we still need a community center. But I was voted down on that.
It's all right. That's part of being an elected official. You don't always get it exactly your way, and it's not always the way the public wants it. So what do you think, when you say we could be the shining star, what are some of those things you'd like to see happen in Gardner moving forward?
I would like to see more businesses come in, both large and small. I'd like to see technology companies come in and see the young people who will work there. They can advance and stay here, but we need to diversify our housing. We need more housing. A lot of the young people live in apartments. We could use some more really nice apartments, even some for the seniors, so they don't have to go to assisted living. I would like to see a parking lot downtown. This has been in the works for, 20 years, I guess, but we really need downtown parking for retail, and we need more retail shops, more restaurants, a nice steakhouse, a nice barbecue restaurant, so people will come to our community. We need public transportation in Gardner. We do have a bus, but it comes early in the morning, and some of the seniors are paying $8 for a taxi ride out to the grocery store, then $8 back. That's a lot of grocery money for people on fixed income.
Yeah, definitely.
We really need that, and I understand a grant could be written for that. We need, let me check my notes here. We need a better relationship with the school district. We need to work hand in hand with them. They are our kids, and right now there's been a conflict with City Parks and Rec, and Gardner schools are starting a new youth activity program, and they're offering the same things the city's offering. So we need coordination with the school district. We have to work hand in hand with them. We probably down the road will need some learning centers to help keep the scores up. There's a lot of kids who fall through the cracks, and they just need like a Sylvan Learning Center. We could use more healthcare centers, urgent care, emergency care.
Well, it sounds like you've got an ambitious agenda and a lot of things that you'd love to see us do and love to see happen in the community. I think that's awesome. So if you could pinpoint a challenge or two that are specific challenges right now that we're facing, or a threat to Gardner, what would those be?
We have to have a city council that can work together.
Okay.
And Gardner's had a reputation for being somewhat hard to work with, and we need a strong council who can work together. That's probably the main goal.
Okay, excellent. Well, I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about some specific issues. These are things that people have either, obviously we see them in the news, or people around town regularly talk about. Some are near and dear to the Chamber's heart, like economic development. So to start off, the Justice Center. what, obviously we have a vote coming up here as well for a new Justice Center, and that's on the ballot here for the first week in August. Where are you at on the Justice Center? What are you thinking there?
Oh, I pray it passes. When I took this Gardner U Academy, they took us for a tour of the old police station, and I hadn't been in it in years, and I was really surprised at how run down it is, and we absolutely need a new Justice Center, so I am for that. We're so fortunate to have a great police department here, and I feel safe in Gardner. Safety, I guess, would be the number one issue for just about everyone.
I think it probably is for a lot of people moving to a community, is safety and that. So, okay, so tell me a little bit. Obviously, I've said we want to grow. We think economic development is important. There are plans and ideas for east of 100 on 175th, east of I-35 or south of I-35. There's plans down for there have been plans for years and for all these places, but South Gardner Road here, Groundhouse, where we're looking right now, west of town, the golf course, lots of economic development opportunities, and even redevelopment opportunities downtown around the Main Street corridor. What would you like to see? Do you have an area that you want to see grow first, or do you have a particular project you want to see happen sooner than later? Or where are you on economic development?
Well, first of all, I think the city's done a great job with, here we are, this beautiful Groundhouse coffee, we have the Hampton Inn, CVS is coming in, Dairy Queen, new dance studio. I'm really proud of what we've done. I'd like to see the west end of town developed a little more. We could have a drive-in restaurant out there about where the old one was.
Okay.
Would probably beautify that end of town. I'm just happy with what we have, and I know we're going to have more land, and we need to keep looking for that to further develop. As far as restaurants, on the east end, we could develop new restaurants. But the west end, it'd be nice to have a grocery store out there, another grocery store, maybe a Hy-Vee or a hen house.
Okay, excellent. So another one that you talked about too early on in your introduction, you talked about housing, and obviously we hear from realtors. We don't have a lot of stuff on the market. It's a very tight market, and we know from our people who walk into our doors at the chamber every week are looking for housing. We give out rental lists and that. There's a struggle. Our apartments are full. Where would you like to see us go in terms of housing or housing growth?
I would say out on 167th, there's a lot of land out there. There was an area that they started building. There's a great big field there. That would make a great place right off Moonlight. We definitely need more housing. It's a seller's market right now, and we need to diversify there.
So what do you think, what could city council do, as a council person, what can you do to help drive that? I mean, is that something that you as a council person can play an active role in? Or is it just setting kind of here's the direction we want to move and letting staff or the market forces kind of determine that?
Well, I think we can be the leaders in that and push that. We just have to find land, and I story up the road about taking farmland because 50 years up the road, we're going to have a food shortage and a water shortage. So, you know, we have some beautiful farms around here.
Yeah.
So we just have to look for land, and that's going to be a big challenge.
Yeah, definitely. So, in terms of, you know, one of the, you know, there's probably two major expenditures from the city's perspective that we notice on a regular basis: personnel, and then capital projects and the bigger things. We've already talked about a justice center. Are there things that the city, you would like to see the city investing in from a capital perspective?
Well, you know, I think we need to buy land because that would be the number one thing. We just have to.
They don't make any more of it.
Right. We need that first of all, and I guess that would be the main thing.
Excellent. So, tell me a little bit, like, quality of life. What do you view as your role as a potential council person in the quality of life in our community?
I think we just need to get out and talk to the people.
Okay.
And visit, and I'd like to see more people come to forums. At the Justice Center forum, there were only about 50 people there. I was surprised, but we need to think of some creative ways to get people involved, and you just have to contact them personally because everyone is so busy.
That's a great, you make a great point, and we've, in the Main Street Corridor Plan, we've learned that, you know, and we kind of know some of this data, but that 79% of our population is 44 and under. And I think if we went to like 54, it's like 88%. So I mean, it's a really young population, or demographic skew, really young. Average age of a household is like 32 here or something. So when you think about that, how do we engage them? You know, are they the ones you're talking about calling them directly, or is there a different way to engage them in city affairs or just community affairs in general?
Everything seems to go to social media today, and I think we could put more things on there, and because, you know, people are on their phones night and day.
Yeah, definitely.
And when they get home from work, they don't have time to go to a meeting. They have all these obligations. Most families, both the husband and the wife work, and I think if we put more things on social media, that would probably bring in some interest.
Okay, excellent. So, you know, I want to get to the point where we're going to wrap up now, and I guess I have two last remaining questions. First, is there anything you want voters to know about you that maybe you haven't talked about yet?
I would like to see up the road the city divided into wards or districts, because this is all at large.
Yep.
And people need to look at the candidates and make sure the whole city is represented, not just, you know, a certain area.
Okay.
But I think it would be like the school district has districts they vote in, and then everybody is represented.
Gotcha.
But I think that's really important, the whole city's represented. I guess I mentioned that I went to KU.
Yep.
Okay.
That could be good or bad depending on if you're a K-State grad or not, but that's okay.
And that I taught for 18 years. So.
Okay. Excellent. So anything that you feel like separates you from the other candidates?
Anybody who knows me knows that I'm honest and I'm trustworthy. Anyone who's worked with me, they and you know, you can have all the experience in the world, but you've just got to do the right thing. I know the difference between what right and wrong.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. Well, I just want to say thank you very much. We appreciate you taking the time, and as we've said, we'll be sharing this throughout the community, and so people have an opportunity. We will provide your contact information, so people, if they've watched this and they want to touch base with you, they want to ask follow-up questions, that type of thing, they have that opportunity. And we wish you the best of luck here in another, I guess, 10 days.
Thank
So
you.
thanks.
Thank you. Appreciate it.